Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating, what is this back injury? Is the back injury? Everybody's questioning it now. And this will be a third straight season where Angel Reese did not finish playing in game. I think Whitlock is onto something. I see other people talking about this. People talking about it all on.
The whole enigmatic disappearance act that Angel Reese is performing is a running joke at this point, to be honest. She hasn't completed what she started for the third consecutive season. It's the third straight season. First, there was the 2023 magical wrist injury. Do you recall that one? The grandiose declaration that she needs surgery to avoid developing arthritis before turning 25.
Vandersloot, their point guard early in the year.
Yeah, that was a big loss. Them losing Courtney Vandersloot was a big loss. They got Rachel Banham playing point guard, Kia Nurse.
No drive to finish strongly, no attempt at a comeback. Season ended just poof. And now, in 2024, she is still doing the same thing. It's a back injury this time. And by back injury, I mean the most ambiguous back ailment in sports history. There was no precise diagnosis, no schedule, and no game moment where you could say, oh, yeah, that's when she hurt herself. It simply seemed to be a magic trick.
What is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of...
Naturally, she timed these injuries flawlessly, always immediately following personal failures or losing streaks. Isn't it convenient? At this point, the timing is so strange that it almost seems like a pattern. Come on, her admirers can call it bad luck all they want. Each of us has witnessed enough of these occurrences to understand the true nature of the situation. She will not be present at the most important games, such as the Sky vs. Fever game in Indianapolis. And because of the excitement surrounding the Caitlin-Clark rivalry, that was the one that everyone wanted to watch. Oh, but don't worry, she'll tell you that rehabbing is the main focus. Let's now discuss how this team functions in her absence. This season, the Chicago Sky are 110 without Angel Reese. Doesn't that sound awful? Here's the worst part, though. People are observing that the squad actually plays more cohesive basketball when she isn't there. Consider that. The ball moves. The offense is a natural progression. In reality, people shoot without thinking about boosting the ego of a single player during every possession. Nobody in her camp wants to discuss that aspect. Additionally, don't assume I overlooked the early season dip. 28% of layups were made prior to the All-Star break. Layups. I apologize, but it's crazy to get 28% on shoots that are basically meant to be the easiest in the game. And she didn't suddenly step up her game until the public began disparaging her, and the All-Star votes were bleak. It's funny how your shooting percentage can miraculously increase when you're afraid about losing a popularity contest.
For being honest, maybe more reason why she's out right now might be secretly shopping her. They're not secretly shopping her. You don't fake back injuries. You don't fake back injuries, run it from the grind.
These injury excuses are beginning to sound like poor reruns, so let's dissect them now. It was the wrist in 2023. The wrist injury that ended the season with a dramatic arthritic explanation. And suddenly, the year was over. No attempt at a comeback. No, I will persevere on behalf of the squad. She simply dipped.
Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin-Clark for that Rookie of the Year.
Then 2024 arrives, and just as the season is getting underway, a mystery back injury appears. Nobody is sure how. Nobody can say for sure when. We only hear the coach's daily updates. They repeatedly use that official term as though it will magically stop people from asking the same questions over and over again for months. This is what exacerbates the situation. Her back is completely okay during All-Star Weekend, for whatever reason. She's grinning, snapping photos, and engaging in all the photo ops on camera. Standing around for hours is not an issue. Posing for the media is not a problem. However, the back begins to flare up when it comes to actually participating in a regular season game. How practical.
She is asking for a trade. Or she's at least implying she wants to be traded. Because at the end of the day, you just never know.
Caitlin Clark, meantime, is over here attending to a real, verified groin injury. We were all present when it occurred. We are aware of the precise time. And despite her injury, she is still traveling with the team, playing, breaking down plays, helping her teammates, and averaging 16.5 points and nearly 9 assists each game. Production is that. Leadership is that. You don't see Clark vanishing into the background with routine puzzles.
And all these other people in front of you and realize, oh, damn, it looked like I'm not going to make it. And then you turned up.
Furthermore, let's not act as though we are unaware of Reese's situation. For some time now, people have been speculating that she is staying out of the spotlight to safeguard her reputation and her popularity. During a losing streak, their stats can't go down, can they? I hope no one witnesses her go 3 for 14 in a crushing defeat. She will simply ignore it and allow the public relations staff to turn it into a story about her getting help. She has even been likened by analysts to Kawhi Leonard's load management. At least Kawhi has medical receipts, though. The lack of openness makes this worse.
You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season.
Furthermore, let's not act as though we are unaware of Reese's situation. For some time now, people have been speculating that she is staying out of the spotlight to safeguard her reputation and her popularity. During a losing streak, their stats can't go down, can they? I hope no one witnesses her go 3 for 14 in a crushing defeat. She will simply ignore it and allow the public relations staff to turn it into a story about her getting help. She has even been likened by analysts to Kawhi Leonard's load management. At least Kawhi has medical receipts, though. The lack of openness makes this worse.
We've seen different tactics being used. Is Angel Reese trying to get traded, bro? Are you trying to get traded, Angel?
That's the attitude of a marketer. In relation to marketing, let's also discuss that Indiana rejection. A few weeks prior, she had no trouble traveling to the same city for All-Star Weekend, but she wouldn't travel for the Fever rivalry game. Well, the back can manage the journey when there are cameras and endorsements around, but not when Caitlin Clark is on the court. I understand. Completely believable. Her reputation as the franchise's face is actually collapsing. People are beginning to realize that branding comes before basketball. And the exact opposite of what a franchise player is meant to contribute is when your team's performance and chemistry improve without you. It's crazy how predictable it has gotten. She will experience a difficult period, possibly face public criticism, and then suddenly, the mysterious injury will appear. The daily cue will be thrown out by coaches. She will appear at any media event or sponsored gig that suits the brand, even though her admirers may quarrel on social media, and she will be wearing street clothes for weeks. She seems to have everything down to a science.
She just stopped. Some of these injuries, we saw the injuries. We didn't see what happened. What happened? This is bad.
Without Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky appear to be a legitimate basketball club. Although I am aware that her admirers detest hearing this, it has been brought up by several analysts for weeks. The offense doesn't appear to be in a rut, the ball flows more effectively, and the chemistry is clearer. Instead of waiting to throw the ball inside so that Reese can make a clumsy contested shot, the guards really get to run the offense when she isn't on the court. The basket was hard cut by the wings. Because the ball has been stuck to one player's hands, possessions don't slowly die, and there is actual spacing. That's not what I think. That is what viewers of these sports are witnessing.
Reese didn't even show up to the Indiana Fever game in Indiana. She's not even showing up to the away games anymore. She's not showing up at all. She's just not showing up.
Furthermore, the numbers. Oh, the numbers are heartbreaking. Over the past 2 years, the Indiana Fever have a 7-1 record versus Chicago. 1 loss, 7 victories. Even better, one of those victories came without Caitlin Clark participating. No problem, Caitlin. Even yet, Indiana crushed the Sky by a margin of 22 points. In the game, Lexi Hall, who doesn't exactly receive the superstar attention, scored 17 points and received a rating of plus or 22. Are you aware of how humiliating it is to be roasted by the actors? That would be like watching a pickpocket steal your wallet and then use it to tip the waiter. Thus, the Chicago Sky are.
It looks like Angel Reese wants out, y'all. Angel Reese seems to be looking for a way out of the dumpster fire that is the Chicago Sky. And I gotta be honest with you.
Reese finds it frightening that so many people now believe that her active style of play makes defending the Sky simpler. There isn't a typical post to shut down once she leaves. There is no excessive dependence on her attempting to force her way into the paint. Because the offense is less predictable, opposing defenses actually have to put in a bit more effort. The addition by subtraction debate is therefore beginning to gain momentum. Furthermore, if your absence makes your team less effective, you should. It's more than just a terrible appearance. That is a red flag that defines a career.
She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games.
The truth truly comes out here. So let's dive into the quagmire that is the debate and trade rumors. Do you recall the entire drama at Gamebridge Fieldhouse? Reese was reposting content that said her presence was risky. Doesn't that sound intense? However, the initial occurrence proved to be insignificant. An actual non-event. In the arena, some noise developed into a plot. Despite everything, she played the victim card to the fullest extent possible.
Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel? This is nuts.
She doesn't show up for the Sky's upcoming major game against the Fever at Gamebridge. Fans had been anticipating this clash because of the Caitlin Clark rivalry, and it wasn't just any game. Her absence instantly rekindled the rumors that she was avoiding important games. And really, is it possible to place responsibility on others? All season long, the trend has remained consistent. Large stage, challenging opponent, enigmatic injury flare-up. Repeat.
There's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day.
Facts. Hey, Whitlock, take this pot. Keep cooking, stir the pot.
The pulling a Dana Bonner hypothesis is another that has been put forth. Reese is essentially waiting to force a trade. It's an interesting theory, but there's a catch. She would most likely have left by now if she was genuinely attempting to push her way out. In order to maximize value, some sources believe the Sky may be taking the long route and retaining her until the 2026 WNBA draft. Because, let's face it, some teams in dire need of a boost in marketing may really forfeit a #1 overall pick if they dangle her for the appropriate return. Potential targets have included names like Paige Buick-Hurst and top 2026 prospects.
But I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break.
The pulling a Dana Bonner hypothesis is another that has been put forth. Reese is essentially waiting to force a trade. It's an interesting theory, but there's a catch. She would most likely have left by now if she was genuinely attempting to push her way out. In order to maximize value, some sources believe the Sky may be taking the long route and retaining her until the 2026 WNBA draft. Because, let's face it, some teams in dire need of a boost in marketing may really forfeit a #1 overall pick if they dangle her for the appropriate return. Potential targets have included names like Paige Buick-Hurst and top 2026 prospects.